happened this week, and it regards what I'm calling these bogus contracts from people who are iBuyers. They're buying property to flip. So they're not buying it to live in, they're buying it to flip it. And I've seen these contracts quite a few times now, and I guess the people are going to these workshops or seminars on how to get rich on real estate by flipping properties. And by the way, here's a form of a contract to go out there and present it to these potential buyers so you can then flip it and make money. And there's a couple of big problems with those forms of the contract because they're all the same. They're all getting them from one source. I'm not sure where they're coming from, but they have two major problems with these contracts. Now, over the last year, people have been bringing me these contracts saying, Tom, I got a problem. I signed this contract. I got a problem. Well, it's too late now. You signed the contract. A contract's a contract. They are valid contracts. I wish you'd let me look at it before you signed it.
Right.
Well, finally,
Somebody
a lady comes to me and says,
before
I sign this, I want you to
review.
it. And I said, there's two major flaws with this contract, and I can fix them for you, which I did. And the two major flaws are this, and these contracts. Well, let's start from the beginning. In the state of Florida, 99% of the contracts used to buy and sell residential real estate is the FAR-BAR, FAR-BAR contract. FAR-BAR as is contract. So these are not FAR-BAR contracts. These are somewhere somebody made up these contracts and said, here, all you potential flippers, here's a great form, go out there and use it. So here's the problems with it. If you look at a FAR-BAR contract, there's a blank to be filled in with what is a closing date. Typically, it's 30 to 45 days out. When you look at these flipper contracts, it says the closing shall be within 30 days of when the seller provides the buyer with accurate photos of the property. Now, if you're selling property and you sign this contract, you don't read that. You don't really know what's going on. 30, 45 days later, you're contacting your iBuyer and saying, hey, when are you going to buy this thing? When's the closing? When am I going to get my money? And that iBuyer is going to come back to the seller and say, well, you never sent me photos. Well, the clock has not even started ticking yet. Now, why is this iBuyer doing this? Because they want as much time as they can to find another buyer to step into their shoes and buy it for more than what they're paying this seller, which is, the seller on this contract probably knows they're trying to flip it, but what they don't know is that the buyer's trying to get as much time as they can
in order to get a buyer for them to make more money.
Exactly. So that to fix that contract, that term of the contract is very easy. I said, closing shall be on or before September 12th. I gave about 5 weeks. Then the other thing that this contract does, which I think is a flaw, is it says that the iBuyer can record that contract in the public records. Standard FAR-BAR contract would not allow parties to do that. If the iBuyer records that contract, even if it's expired, they have created a cloud on title. Seller would not be able to sell to somebody else until this cloud has been resolved. And so I fixed that by changing language, say, neither party shall record this contract in the public records. When I did that for my client, her name was Kim, I said, Kim, here it is. I've fixed it for you. It's an easy fix. And I said, this iBuyer is probably not going to go for it. They're probably just going to say, no, I'm not going to buy your house. She emailed me back, said the iBuyer signed it. So I was surprised. I'm happy for her because clearly the purchase price met with her approval. That was not the issue. And so she emailed back the next day. She said, Tom, I'm thrilled with what you did for me. Thank you so much. I emailed her back one more time and said, look, just so we're on the same page, this iBuyer is trying to flip your property. If they don't find a buyer within the next 5 weeks, within our closing date of on before September 12th, they're probably just going to back out, say, well, I'm not buying your house. They've only got $1,000 at risk, or they're rolling the dice for $1,000, see if they can turn around and flip it in sooner. So it'd be interesting to see how that shakes out at the end of the day. But if you're thinking about doing when you everybody,
if you're a seller entering into a contract,
everybody that owns property is getting phone calls and emails. I want to buy your property.
Right.
If you want to do that, great. See what they have to offer you. But please, I think it's wise for you to have that contract reviewed by an attorney before you sign it, because it is not the standard bar contract. Does that make sense, Chrissy?
Yes. Well, thank you for the great explanation.